Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Farm Life here, and as you can see, I got my foot pedal for the left hand side all figured out. It's painted blue and done, same with the power steering pump, other four front weights, and then hanging here is the roll bar, which this is epoxy primered. It's going to be black, and then this radiator and starter is off of the other little tractor on the other side. So those two and the roll bar are going to be gloss black and it's actually about 8 o'clock here tonight. I'm going to go do my evening chores and let this blue paint dry overnight. I just got done with it, and first thing tomorrow morning I will put the weights on the tractor, the power steering pump and the footsteps, and then I can paint all this stuff in here black. And then the only thing that I'll be waiting on is the left-hand fender. We've got to get a left-hand fender for that tractor, the 4610, and that'll be done. So I have made a little bit of progress on putting the tractor together. On these parts here that I had to do some work with, I sanded them all. This nose piece here, I've got to do some Bondo work where you see these dark pits. That's low spots. This is fiberglass, so it dings up pretty easy. So this one, it's just got a few scratches and dings in it. This piece here, which is where the exhaust comes out of the engine, is that hole there. I've got some spots on this side. I got a Bondo because this whole side was actually caved in a little bit. So when I pushed it back out, there's still some dents in it. This front cowling or rear cowling, which goes by the over top the steering wheel and holds the dash. This one I've got sanded down smooth. There's a couple dents here that I got a Bondo, and then this side here had a pretty good dent in it, so I got to do some Bondo there. These dark spots here and here, that was runs of the epoxy primer, and I sanded back down through the high build and took off the top of the epoxy. So you can't tell, but that's actually smooth, even though it looks like it's got ridges in it. So after I get these all done, since I did break down through to the bare metal in a couple spots on this one and the other with the exhaust, where the exhaust pipe goes through on that shield, I'm going to re-epoxy these as well as this fiberglass piece, since I went all the way through to the fiberglass in a few spots, and because it seals the Bondo off from absorbing any moisture. This is an extra layer of protection. Now this shield here is a different story. There's nothing wrong with this one. So the reason I high built it is to get it smooth. So what I'm gonna do is I went over all this with 180 grit. I'm gonna hit it with some finer stuff, 320. I'll hit it with 320, move up to 400, and then probably for final sand 1000 or 1500. I'm not too worried about the inside since that's going to be down all the time, but the tin work is really important because that's what everybody sees, and it's supposed to be smooth. So this one here, I've just got to get it sanded down really well. This one doesn't need any Bondo work, but these other three do. So I'll probably have that one Bondo in a separate video. Anyways, onto the tractor itself. Let's see. I got the belt on the alternator and the crank and water pump fan. Got the belt on it, and I got fuel relief line or return. I've actually got to shorten this line up a little bit because it sticks out too far that way. I got the oil hydraulic and transmission oil filters changed. I have not done the engine yet because I want to warm it up before we do that and dump the oil. And have started to lay the electrical harness back in. I got this module bolted on, which was easy to tell because it had the bolt pattern on it. And then the alternator's all hooked up. The engine oil sensor here, a temperature sensor down in here, and all this up here. This cluster goes to the dash. 2 of them come here to the fuel sending unit. This goes to some controls that are right here on the cowling, and then this is obviously the ignition switch. This here is the safety switch, so it won't start when it's in gear. Other than that, everything's still the same. I did have a little bit of blue paint left over, excuse me, from doing the pieces in the other side, so I put it in the little detail gun. And I got these tie rods here where I scuffed the paint up pretty good from adjusting them on that end and this end here. There was a few spots that I missed when I was painting in the other side, or in here anyways. This back part here I missed a little bit, so I was able to get that. This line, this fuel line here, I missed a little bit on. So I just did a little bit of touch-up work on that. I'm pretty sure I already showed that I got this foot pedal on and the brakes hooked up. So other than that, it's pretty much all that I've gotten done. I got the starter in it. I got the coolant lines hooked up. So it's coming together slowly but surely. But tomorrow morning I'll be able to get these weights, the other 4 weights on here and bolted down. So that'll be done. And then I can put the power steering pump on, which goes right here. This is just a shipping cover that's in there. And then I'll be able to put the cooler on for the power steering pump, which is this one right here. I'm not really sure where that sits, but it hangs out somewhere in here by the pump. I think it goes right here. And then I can get that front piece set on right here. That'll get a pretty big deal of work done in the front. So it'll probably be able to start up and run. Maybe. We've got a battery to put in it. And then the only thing I'm waiting on, I think I already said it, is the fender for that side. Roll bar can go on without the fenders because those big brackets that I've showed in a previous video sit on top of the roll bar, and then they're bolted to the roll bar itself. The roll bar is bolted to the axle, and then the fenders are bolted to the roll bar. So the roll bar can go on, no issue. What I want to do with that, the reason why I painted blue tonight is because, like I said, I can get all those parts on, and then the black can sit and harden for a while, because the radiator and the starter especially, they're not going to go on right away. Now the roll bar I might be able to, so that won't be as big of a deal, but I want it hardened enough because we're going to have to handle it quite a bit to get it on there, because it's not a light piece of steel. So that's probably going to do it, guys. I appreciate you watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, share, and we'll catch you at the next one.